Hello. Welcome to this TenderCom video where I will be showing you how to tender in South Africa. For a more detailed explanation, we invite you to visit our website and buy the Tender Guidebook. Without further ado, let's get to it. In South Africa, understanding the tender process is crucial for anyone wishing to succeed in securing private and government contracts, often referred to as tenderpreneurs. Many entrepreneurs struggle with this process, sometimes blaming corruption, but winning tenders typically depends on key factors: compliance, functionality, pricing, and B-BBEE demographics. This guide will provide a step-by-step approach to help navigate and succeed in the tendering process. Steps on how to tender. Step 1. Instead of focusing on multiple tenders and losing time and money, focus on 2 to 3 key sectors for tenders. Gain expertise and ensure you meet functionality requirements to save time, money, and reduce compliance burdens. Educate yourself about the sectors you choose to tender on and make sure you would be able to meet the functionality requirements of that sector. The next step would be to get your documents in order, because without these documents, you cannot apply for a tender. Getting the documents alone is not sufficient, as you would still need to register on the necessary databases to get a supplier number and be eligible for tenders. The basic documents you're going to need are company registration certificate, tax clearance certificate, business bank account, BE certificate, or affidavit. Depending on your industry or sector, additional documents might be required. Furthermore, every company that wants to tender or do business with government must register on the Central Supplier Database, CSD. Start searching for invitations to tender or request for quotations, RFQ. You can find tenders and RFQ in places such as newspapers, tender websites, and in the government's weekly tender bulletins. But be mindful of scams. Entrepreneurs should keep in mind that it does not just boil down to finding tenders in your industry or sector, but it is also important that they weigh their capacity and ability to complete the tenders that they identify in terms of time, cash flow, skills, staff, and equipment. Complete your tender form as per the instruction on the tender document. Consider the following. Read through the bid document carefully, as it contains all the instructions for that particular tender. Set a competitive price. Avoid being too expensive or too cheap. Make sure you sign the bid document. Unsigned documents will be disqualified. Once your tender has been completed, you would need to submit it to the relevant department together with all the compliance documents before the deadline, otherwise it would not be considered. Take note of the following. The format of submission can be required to be submitted as a hard copy or soft copy document or both. If dealing in goods, you might be required to send samples. Finally, it is important that you make sure your completed bid documents are put in a sealed envelope and addressed correctly with crucial information written clearly. The fact that you have applied for a tender does not mean you would automatically get the tender. Remember that there are usually more than 1,000 people applying. If your tender bid fails, don't give up. Request feedback to improve for next time. If successful, be prepared to sign a service level agreement or contract form. And that's it. These are the steps you need to take in order to become a successful tenderpreneur in South Africa. Feel free to visit our website and download the Tender Guidebook for a more detailed explanation.